Alright guys, it's Willie jumping here. So previously we just got the side view. Basic shape of it is just kind of a cube and a triangle shape. Right, and let's look at front view. Right, so if you just pressed numpad 1 and look at front view, clearly it's not a good front view because you got so much to fine tune. Okay, first is that I think is not smooth enough. The second is that I think it's a little bit squared, so I'm going to change that. Of course, the most useful tool I think is the grab, because it's the big shape shifting. So I'm going to grab it down just to make everything smooth. And of course, you can always smooth it manually, right? Using the shift and S to smooth it and grab it. Get it more standing out. You can get this a little bit shrinkage here, but I'm not going to use the grab. The reason, yeah, by the way, the reason I used I wanted this part to shrink is that if you look at the front view, let's observe it. Okay, let's look at here, right? So if you look at this this temporal bone here, and we got this lesser wing and greater wing, and this part, lesser wing, greater wing, and the temporal bone is kind of a shrinked spot, and this zygomatic bone kind of just extrude out, so you will get a little bit shrinkage here. But in fact, if you look at the person, you don't notice shrinkage unless it's for example, some persons zygomatic bone got extruded too much, you will notice. But in fact, you don't notice because we got all this muscle fielding, so you don't notice. But if you look at here, this is a more outstanding. I got this here. Okay, so you got this shrinkage here and extrusion here. So the reason we start using the skull, modeling skull, rather than just you just do the adding the flash version of the model, is that I need you guys to know that about shrinkage. Even though you don't want to learn anatomy, I don't want to learn anatomy because all these names a little bit weird, and yeah, pretty hard to pronounce. You know that my first language is not English, so yeah, pretty hard for me to pronounce that. But I think it's crucial for you to just know that it's there, even though you don't know how to name it professionally. Okay, so yeah, just know that you got a shrinkage here. So how to do that? Here's a tip for you guys: is that you don't necessarily need to use grab every time that you want to shrink. There's a pretty good tool. It's here, right here. It's called clay strips, and clay strips can get a shrinkage and extrusion naturally and quickly, of course. So let's try that. Okay, so if you want a shrinkage, you can just got it here, and you got a shrinkage, but that's clearly too much. Okay, so if you just got a side view, it's clearly too much of the shrinkage. So the reason of this for is too much is, first, the size of the brush is a little bit big. The second is the strength of it is a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is to F to shrink the size a little bit. Okay. The second is Shift and F to decrease the strength of it. So when you do that, you kind of not too much. Okay, not too much. And of course, you can smooth it. You can smooth it, right? And of course, if you think that's too much, you can always grab it out a tiny bit and go to the front view, right? I think I need to push it middle a tiny bit, because yeah. And of course, you can go to this clay strip And of course, as you guys can see, you can use shortcut and you can yeah, just kind of customize all this. If you just hold that, you got this out, okay? You just hold that and draw it, you got all this out. But if you hold a shift, oh sorry, command, you got this curved in. So that's what I'm aiming at. Because front view, I hold an option, right? Gives a tiny inward brush. Let's check the reference. Okay, kind of from the top of it all the way up to the socket of the eye. Okay, you got all kinds of shrinking in. So I think approximately the eye is here. Okay, so the shrink is approximately this place. Okay, so you can do that, holding shift and S to smooth everything. Okay, because this is like a claw. Okay, and yeah, this is like claw, as you got claw down, which is a little bit too much. So you can just yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think I accidentally using the shortcut smooth or something like that. Yeah, never mind. Right? I think maybe I just shrink it too much and use my grab to get maybe a little bit. Just smooth it out, okay? Yeah. I think maybe I need to grab this out a tiny bit. Yeah, let's just leave it here because we can always deal with that later on. And of course, I think we need to got this socket down a tiny bit. So the eye socket, you can go to the front view. I think it's approximately the eye socket is here, right? So holding command, you can just got this eye socket here, right? Because you know the downwards is just I think at the bottom of the eye socket here, right? So if you look at here, almost the same line. Okay, so this line here. So let's go back to Blender and got this eye socket approximately here. Right? You can get the side to see, yeah. And of course you can add all this extrusion, because you got extrusion over here. So if you don't hold the command, you can get extrusion around your eye socket, which is pretty good, pretty convenient tool, right? Because it's kind of an ongoing process. You can always add all kinds of adjustments later. If you got it too dented in, you can just grab it out. You can use this. The reason I use this clay strip is that it got a kind of like claw, got up and down. It's more realistic, like you are doing a real sculpting process, right? Like you make this guy wearing glasses, right? Yeah. A little pointed here, like a pointed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and of course you can always smooth it, right? But for now I think just leave it here, because if I smooth it, I got a little bit deformed. Right, so once the eyes finished, you can go to look at here. You get the nose part. Okay, so with this one do not have a lot of shadow, so you clearly see the layer. Let's change that to another reference. I think this one got a side view. Okay, I think this one's pretty good. Okay, so you got extrusion of the nose and downward. I think they got a triangle here. Right, got this extrusion of bone here, and kind of the indents here. I got a triangle here, and also this taste bone got extruded a tiny bit and backwards. Okay, so memorize that. This is a challenge for you. You don't need to just use the reference, because you need to know that by heart in order for you to stylize that later on, because it's just a basic anatomy. Got the front view, right? Got the front view, because what I see is a triangular shape. So what I'm going to do is got a triangular shape. I think approximately here. Okay, and because it's a nosy part, so I'm going to got something like this. Okay, but that clearly not extruding enough, and of course the indentation is not good enough. So what I'm going to do is holding command to indent these parts a little bit. I think maybe I'm just making it a little smaller. Sorry. Oh, this is pretty deep indentation. Maybe that's just too much. Because the strength may be a little bit too much, so I'm going to adjust that a tiny bit. Pretty big nose. I think this part got like extrusion, and yeah. If you don't want to worry about detail, you can just smooth all it out, because you can got a detail later on, front, side, or something like that. And of course, I think on a side we got this inward pressure of this side. Okay, because you got inward, and then there's a bone connecting here, so this is got inward. Let's add that inward as well. So I'm still using this. Got it smaller. Don't want anything too drastic. Right? I think maybe here. A little bit. If you want to adjust that, you can just not holding the command, and you want to concave it in, you can just holding command. Tiny bit. Maybe just make this head a little bit layered. got this bone extruding out, so I think it bended a little bit and got this down a tiny bit, and this definitely need to get this inside, smooth it out, so adjust it a little bit. Right. And I think we need to adjust the size of the side, left and right side as well, because we got extrusion here and it's a little bit flat. So let's go back to Blender. Right, I think let's go to this side. Okay, we got indentation here, but this part is a little bit flat. If you look at say here, I think this is pretty good. Right, you can clearly see that a kind of a cheekbone, extend that backwards, okay, and up that is the indentation. So you got a little bit curve here, and then a line here. So this extrusion is pretty prominent. So I think we need to add that, and because if you look at front view, our person is a little bit flat. Let's just call this skull scally, something like that. Okay, so just you can name it. You can name it whatever name that you prefer. But I think yeah, we need to add a tiny little bit of extrusion. Just got that, and let me just show you this. The part I think is pretty important. Extrusion here, I got the indentation down here. And obviously, we need to add that kind of it. Just extend that backwards, okay? So extend that, got backwards, something like that, okay? And then adjust it a tiny touch, right? Like there's a line, draw backwards, and that's our extrusion bone that we need to add that. And you get the front view. Yeah. That's more like it. So you got a nice curve here, got it down, got it down, got it backwards. And if you look at this glass part, it's a little bit weird because we extrude that a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to fix that. So let's check our reference a little bit. So I think we got this pretty detailed encyclopedia here. We got this frontal bone here, right? It's a huge part, but if we look at the bone, let's look at the real bone rather than just text-built image. Maybe this one, and we can see that the front bone got extruded and almost connect that with this eye socket bone, that's brow bone here, like seamlessly, and it got a little bit slope here. So clearly this is not a glass, like glasses, but rather it's just connected. Okay, so what I'm going to do is extrude this front bone a little bit, so and smooth that transition from the frontal bone to this brow bone. Okay, so let's do that by I think I'm just going to use this clay strip. As you guys can see, I used to grab and clay strip and smooth a lot. So that's the reason why I said at the beginning that you don't need to know every brush. Yeah, I'm going to introduce that as we go now. Okay, so let's fix that front bone, frontal bone. I think just add a little bit. You can just swirling around, right? Because it's mirrored, so the left or right does not matter. As long as we think this got a smooth Yeah, I think that's too much. That's definitely too much. Okay, so if you go to side view, you see that the brush here is a little bit too much. So you can fix it by holding the control. You just get it down a tiny bit. Just smooth the transition. Just get it down, touch. At the connecting parts, you can add a little bit, and Shift and S to smooth everything out. Right? This looks good. Pretty good. Right? Yeah. Right, so once we finish with the upper parts, let's look at the lower part. So if you haven't noticed, the skull composed of two parts. The first is this part, the second is this part, okay, the downward part. So if you are, say, in a fight, and sometimes you might get its jaw dislocated, because this part can be dislocated from there's original position, so this is just definitely two parts. And so if you look at, let's look at another reference image, maybe this, right? So if you look at here, we got this extrusion, right? Extrusion out, and this downward here. We got a downward here, but the middle part is kind of extrusion. So this is downward, down, and up front. And this is extrusion. We look at a front view, extrusion, got this out, got this jaw out, like some person have a pretty square jaw, got this, yeah, square jaw parts. Let me look at it here. Square jaw, and yeah, got this. So this needs to be grabbed out. This part needs to be grabbed out. This middle part is extrusion. The front and left is kind of the indentation. Okay. Right. So let's went back to our Blender. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is to I kind of just pull this part out. Right, got this part all the way down to the jaw part, right, and got this front, and the indentation is of course just here, so the rest need to get this. Up a little bit. I just got this down and moving forward, and the cheekbone part need to extrude as well. So let's combine that with the eye part and got this extrusion out, then the front. Yes, it looks pretty good. Yeah, and let me just make it a little subtle. And maybe a little bit too much. Flatten that out. Touch. I think this cheekbone needs to strengthen a little bit. then holding the option to get this downward pressure of that, smooth it out. Yeah. So basically, I want a extrusion here. I got a square jaw here, so I might need to grab this part out a little bit. So you grab this part out. Maybe not like that. You grab this part out. Right? So get a square. This part as well. So you just simply grab it. Smooth it. Right? So this extrusion here goes down, got extrusion. Right? So this part got down. Got down, got here extrusion, got front, right? Smooth it out. Got indentation here, right? So got indentation here, got front the indentation here. Okay, smooth it out. Okay, yeah, looks pretty good. All right, and yeah, let's look at the side view. So if you just tap 3 here, you got the side view, and let's look at some of the reference image. Yeah, this is perfect side view, and maybe this one, pretty, yeah. You got this extrusion of the brow here, extrusion of nose. I thought there's nose nasal bone here. Okay, you got the extrusion here, and flatten it out, an extrusion of the jaw, and yeah, so I think I need to adjust the nasal parts a little bit, and I think this extrusion is weird. I like to make it smooth it down. Okay, so I think I may get this clay strip. Let me just get it down a tiny bit. Good. Let me just grab it, okay? I think, let me just grab everything out. Right. Of course, you can always smooth it out. Yeah, this is a more rounding shape, and I think this part needs to be good. Yeah, grab it a little bit, tiny bit, right, and yeah, and I think the nasal part and the brow part, especially if you are doing say some Superman character, the brow part needs to be prominent, and we previously we got a little bit prominent, but now I think it's just smooth it out, which is not the thing we want. So what I'm going to do is to use a little brush to add that manly brow a touch, but nothing too crazy, just a little bit. Yeah, we got that. And the nasal parts, just going to grab it up a little bit, grab it up, yeah, grab it, maybe this part, grab it up, touch. We got this brow part, extrusion. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. We got this square jaw. I think the jaw maybe come back to these parts. So I need to fix that as well, because the jaw part is a little bit, yeah, it's a bit weird. So I think maybe this part. Yeah, this part need to extrude, and you just grab it. Sorry, not grab. I think the nasal part also need to get smooth the touch. So what I'm going to do is to just get all these parts, grabbing all that up by using this, right? So this get it smoothed. Got a cheekbone here, extrusion, got up a little bit. So this kind of get all this nasal part, right? It's more like it, right? Yeah. And brow, I think it's pretty good. And good. If you want more prominent for the drastic effects of a superhero feeling, you can just get this out. Get this out, a touch, right? Just make these parts a little bit prominent. Right? Yeah. Right, I think that's it. It's over 30 minutes. Yeah, and I think that's it. We got the basic skull here. I'm not going to go through all these teeth because in the later modeling process we won't be showing every tooth of it. So yeah, so I think that's it. I'm going to save it because I like this is just my personal experience. Is that I want every step of the sculpting saved. So if you reach a certain stage, you need to save your progress in case you break it later on, because the sculpting you lay on certain layer, you deform it, so you're always changing the subject. So if you break it later on, you can always adjust that. That's kind of a roll back to certain stage. Okay, so yeah, let's save it, and bye for now.